Well, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and whoever you're lucky enough to be doing it to, I am Bushka on Blitz, and I'm doing it to you, and I'm doing it all night long. Yeah, baby. Geez, that was an interesting intro, wasn't it? We probably won't use that one again. Scrap that. Can we take that out in the edit? Yeah, no worries, mate. Moving forward, we're going to be talking today about the dance floor. Now, I like to call the dance floor wherever I am when I'm in a bit of a tussle and I'm kind of panicking and it's all happening and you've got to know where your angles are and what's going on and you're thinking on your feet and you're trying to figure out some tactic that's going to save you and improve your position because you're kind of tight and there's not much room to maneuver. And that's the dance floor. This is probably my favourite tank to be on the dance floor in fact. And you'll see I'll get a bunch of bounces and I'll do some damage here and it's all very well and good, but we don't want to watch the Object 140 do this because quite frankly the Object 140 is a taskmaster. Watch, just drags the shot out back and forward and they get that big angle and this one comes out and gets the angle as well and we keep pumping them and it's all well and good, but the Object 140 is a monster. The FV4202 is not a monster, and we're going to do it in the FV4202. And these games are not particularly about massive damage, because I don't think in either of them I do massive damage. What these games are about is surviving and living and being a sneaky little bastard and somehow coming out the other side of these games alive and not dead, which is the big part. Now this is the FV4202. Look at the balls on this kid. He has moved up here to the very, very aggressive spot versus two enemy mediums, both of whom I believe can play, probably in fact in platoon. And the rest of my team is back in the spawn having a cigarette. I do not know what they are doing or who they're doing it to, but they're certainly not doing it with me or doing it to the Reds. And there's actually a Leo 1 on my right already. Just like bang. Thanks very much for coming. I didn't know he was there. He didn't know I was there. And there we go. I was about to type, what the hell are you guys doing? But I decided that I better stop because I'm actually getting hammered here. Leopard PTA, just for those of you who are wondering, that's not a Leopard 1, sorry, it's Leopard PTA, is a tank that does very, very well as a sniper, has great pen and all that, but good golly, it's got horrific gun depression, even over the sides. It's not special. I think it's about 6 degrees. And that's what was happening there. He was trying to get a shot down onto me and hoping I'd move forward again into his gun depression range, but I didn't. Now, I'm screwed here. They've finally moved up on the right, and I've taken another one. I'm just hopeful of getting one on that Leo before I get hit again. You can see he was trying to get one into me. There's an Object 263 over there. There's an Object 268 over there. There's a T-54 on my left. There's an ST1 that's going to ball up like a gorilla in a second and have a crack at me, and I'm going to have to do a little bit of side scraping. And everyone basically wants to kill me, which is a wonderful state of mind to be in if you're a red man. But I'm a green man. I don't want to be killed. We give one to the ST1, but we don't look after our angles well enough. Now, one of the keys to staying alive in situations like this is showing flat sides as often as possible. Now, I'm going to show a flat side here to the ST1 and just side scrape that one out. And that's grand. That was a well done. And I see an opportunity here to leave the building, Elvis style, and I take it. T-54's only got 5 degrees of gun depression. I know if I get around this corner quick smart, he's not going to see me, and we can take a big deep breath because we've given ourselves a little bit of breathing space. And we're going to nut that 263 in a second. And doesn't that feel good after sitting there alone for so long? Now, the team was very, very rubbish at moving up, but that was way too aggressive on my part. I'd like to think that it actually had a huge impact on the outcome of the game, simply because I stopped them from getting up there and controlling that mouth and letting the rest of their team move up as they want. But, you know, you can never tell. Feels good to smack that 54 too, just quietly. Now, there's an IS-7 coming around the flank there. You can see him on the radar. If you're watching your radar, and you should be, you'd be panicking right about now because you don't have enough to take a shot from an IS-7. Well done on hitting that big rock, Bushka. That was an outstanding effort. And the IS-7 is now right up behind me. And we are moving onwards and upwards out into the open, trying to get away from him. Again, just like we did with the T-54, keeping him behind us where he can't get any shots at us. And that's wonderful. All is well in the world tonight. You might have heard my darling wife there. She has the flu. It has been a very rough couple of weeks, sickness-wise, in the Bushka household. And then we knocked the IS-7 at the end. Now, that was all well and good. But it was probably my own doing. Far too aggressive. And the FE4202 is not the tank to be super aggressive in. Now, Rich Leica MP is going to take that spot this time. I'm going to give it to him because he's got a better turret than I do. He can actually afford to bounce some shots. And I'm going to move up here and have a crack at this STB-1. Now, I was spotted coming around that corner, but I was very lucky. Because I came around at the right angle, hey, what do you know? We got to bounce. And that's why it pays to actually get used to driving your tank at the right angle and always approach corners at the right angle, and even just wiggle a little bit when you're spotted, because it will save you so many times. And I've pushed up here in what has to be one of the stupidest moves of a young man's career, and immediately there are 4 tanks on my left and there's 2 tanks that I can see on my right, but I guarantee you there's the 7th one out there somewhere. And yeah, not good. What do? Well, for starters, you just need to accept the fact that when you're in a situation like this, you're staying alive, and all you can do damage wise is hit the people that make errors and mistakes, and don't get hit by the guys like that 183 who are just tunneling you deluxe. The other problem you're going to have is when you have lots of tanks in front of you, you can't go out after a shot by 1 or even 2 of them, because you'll get hit by the 3rd. And if you get tracked and stuck and without a repair kit, you'll be screwed. Now, remember how I talked about flat sides with that ST1? Look at the flat side that I'm presenting just there. And I'm also cautious about my turret. If I turn it, is it going to become visible? Now, it won't, because the turret on the FE4202 is actually quite compact. Very, very short and no wider than the hull itself. Look at this. He's made a mistake, that STB-1. He's forgotten about me being there, and he's pushed up, and you can't chase. Now, do you see that? We put 2 shots into him, but we didn't chase. And again, flat side. I'm conserving my hit points, and Rich, being a little champion, smacks the STB-1 and finishes him off. Now, I've got a really sharp upper glacis on this tank. The FE4202 has an incredibly sharp upper glacis, and I'm just trying to spot out there, and lo and behold, the mouse moves up, and we can probably make a little bit of hay while the sun is shining here. There's a T110E4 coming around. We've been pretty patient. We're going to take one, but we track him, we blow adrenaline, but he immediately fixes and pulls out, which is a good move. Now, the F215B 183 was looking the wrong way there. We knew the E4 wasn't there, and the SU-122-54 couldn't hit us, and the STB-1 is already dead because we're watching, and we are, 2 tanks down, but we're not done and dusted yet. And now those hit points have been conserving. We're willing to have a crack with them because it's an important time in a young man's life when he has to start knocking out red guns, or it's going to be all over. We track the 183, which is always a good move, and flat sides. Flat sides, but not flat enough because we get wrecked. And we track that E4 again. Now, he shouldn't have a kit left, and he doesn't, because we tracked him earlier, not long ago, and the mouse smacked him. Now, you're going to see one of the reasons why the poor old 4202 is a little bit of a red-headed stepchild when it comes to T-Rex meds. Straight through the turret from that T62A, and there's nothing we can do about it. And we don't have any heat, so we can't go straight back through his turret. We know that he is rushing over here. We don't want a 2-gun on 2-gun thing. We want to get rid of this 183 ASAP, and we're looking for him to come out now. Here he comes, and this is dancing, mate. This is what dancing's all about. Look at the angle on my upper glacis, and he panics, and there we go again. He's not firing heat, God bless him. Good on him. Mate, had a good game too, the 62A. Pushed it right down to the wire. Now, we were within, 30 feet of 4 or 5 enemy tanks for most of that game. And we just conserved our hit points, took the shots that were on offer, and that's where it's at. You've really got to be patient. You've got to be really... You've got to have a feeling for where your tank is at all times, where your angles are at all times. And when you get used to that, and it takes a lot of time and experience, you'll be all the better for it. Oh, this is just a little throwaway one that Rich and I played today, which is a bit of a giggle. A supremacy match. We knew they were coming A because they have 5 mediums, so we certainly weren't going to push on A. We were going to push B, cap D, hope the heavies cap C, and then we're going to hold B. But the rest of the team decided to aggressively YOLO A, and the Yag Tiger, 5 meds. Why are you pushing A at all? Like, if you've got a cap like this and you've got great cover, you really should be using it. Anyway, so they're going to die. No worries. And I suppose this does actually play right into this theme. It was a really good fun game. You could see the angle on that 140. That was really good, but I missed a drive well. Let's be honest, that was a crap shot. And then I've switched to heat because I was pretty certain he was going to come out at a better angle the next time. Only the Yag Tiger went and sat his ass in front of all of them, so I couldn't see him anyway. There we go, we get one that time. And we're just looking for a little bit of help. Rich and I are not going to give this up. There's back to APCR, and we smack that pattern. Now Rich is behind me. It's basically Rich and me against, look at all the red dots on the radar around us. And I'm angling my tank like an absolute fool. Using it, hugging right into that tiny space. Just working it as best I can. And there's a pattern there, but there's going to be a Type 61 join him in just a second. And we're not very picky. We'll take whatever damage we can get. Oh, probably should have used heat there. A little bit too late to change it though. Got him this time. Nah, missed the shot because I was pushing up and down on that hill. Really tough stuff this. And then the bloody 61 drives in front, and we just have to take the shot anyway. And Rich is still there on my side. Look at him. God bless him. Couple of little Russian mediums doing the business. And how about that for a little Rorke's Drift, just like the big Zulu movie. So that's what it's all about, boys and girls, the dance floor. Getting on the dance floor, shaking your ass, moving your ankles, hiding where you have to from the bouncer who's trying to kick you out. He knows you've been an idiot. But whatever you do, don't stop moving. It's flat sides, strong armor profiles. Be aware of your radar. Put it all together, and you've got a great little brawling package. And it doesn't matter what tank you're in, if you can do those kind of things, you'll be a lot better for it. So thanks very much for watching, listening, expounding on tanks in general. You're all wonderful. The community that we're building here is pretty amazing. We've got something like, 150, 160 people in Patreon now. We've got over 100 people, well over 100 people in the sponsors chat. We've got nearly 16,000 of you lunatics subscribed, and we're getting about 10,000 views on every video we post during the week. So knock me over the feather. You guys are amazing. I'm really, really proud to be part of it, and I hope you keep enjoying the content. I enjoy making it. I love seeing you out there. Make sure you say hello on the battlefield because, it's always good to have a giggle and a chat. And the more people I see who are subs and that, the happier I feel in a day. I'm Bushka on Blitz. Look after your families and stay safe on the battlefield.